This is the Siskiyou Smokejumper Base. We're in the parachute loft here. This base was opened in 1943. There were 4 original bases in the nation: Missoula, Montana, McCall, Idaho, Winthrop, Washington, and Cave Junction, Oregon. The first 3 years, 43, 44, 45, during World War II, they had conscientious objectors here. They were mostly from Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. These guys were not paid a salary when they were here. They got basically room and board. Conscientious objectors are non-combative, and they were had joined the civilian public service in the United States to do their sort of duty. They were put on national parks and cleaning up roadways, all kinds of different maintenance kind of things across the state. But the Forest Service was trying this smoke jumper program, so they needed about 60 smoke jumpers or so. Apparently, they went to the civilian public service and asked the conscientious objectors if they could get some volunteers. They got about 60 or 65 volunteers, enough to man the first 4 smoke jumper bases. After 1945, the World War II vets came back, Army Airborne from Europe, Marine Airborne from the Pacific. Most of these guys were wounded and came here to the Siskiyou Smokejumper Base in 46 and 47. The base was open for 39 years. We never lost one fire here. What we're doing is we're initial attacking. We're parachuting into remote areas on lightning-caused remote fires, lightning-caused forest fires. We never lost one fire in the rural areas. After they closed the base in 1981, they've lost unbelievable fires here, extremely, extremely expensive. The reason they said they had to close this base in 81, they said they had to save money. Well, these catastrophic fires are incredibly expensive. I think they've spent in the billions of dollars just in our coverage area here. They burned over 1,000 homes here in the rural areas. So, anyway, they closed it in 1981. The people in town were upset about it. They said, well, you're taking away the initial attack firefighters. So, the Forest Service, to try to squelch the criticism for closing this, gave this entire airport here, including the runway, the 5,000-foot paved runway. There wouldn't be a 5,000-foot paved runway here if it wasn't for the Smokejumper Base. And all these Smokejumper buildings were all given to the county, but the county didn't have the money and time, maintenance, everything to be able to support these older buildings. We've got buildings here that are a lot of them between 80 and 89 years old. So the buildings were in disrepair, and the county couldn't afford it. So in 2004, Josephine County decided they were going to bring in a DH in 28 days and bulldoze every smoke jumper building here, starting with our parachute loft. Well, our parachute loft is by far the most important building here. So anyway, there was 150 of us still alive by 2004 that were smoke jumpers here. And we started to protest these politicians not to destroy these buildings here. We went into the courthouse to talk to the politicians. We started going in twice a week. We got more and more jumpers to come with us as we went in first with 5 or 10 jumpers, and then we had 15 or 20. We kept building and building. We had World War II vets that were smoke jumpers. Korean and Vietnam veterans who were all smoke jumpers went with us. And we were extremely persevering and extremely consistent about it. They thought we were going to quit after a month or two. I know they did. They'd whisper to each other. They thought, well, let's let them come in for a couple months, then they'll get tired and they'll go home. Well, that's not what happened. 6 years later, we were still protesting them going in there consistently twice a week. We just about drove them crazy. In 2010, that's 6 years after 2004, of course, we walked in one day and we looked at the politicians, and they were looking at us, and I could tell they were not happy to see us. They were never happy to see us. And they said, so you guys want to maintain those buildings and keep the buildings. You're going to do it with your own money, make it a museum. We said, yes, that's why we have been coming in here. So the commissioner says, all right, you got to promise us one thing, you'll never come in this courthouse again. Well, we don't want to be in the courthouse in the first place. But right after that, we signed a lease and came out here and started working on the buildings. Of the 9 buildings, 8 of the roofs were leaking. We had to get donations to help us get materials. Of course, we did the labor on everything. All the siding and the roofs and the windows and the plumbing, everything. We had to redo it because the buildings are old and they didn't have the money to maintain these. The buildings, at the end of 1981, the buildings were in great shape. You had all the jumpers here working on them, but not in 2004 or 2010 for sure. So we asked for donations. We got more than we asked for. People were sending in money to try to help us to support the idea. Right now, if you'd like to help us, you can send us donations, and I'll give you my phone number. My phone number is 541-441-4804. You can send us a check and help us out. It was great. You can come here if you'd like. We have tours 7 days a week here. We started out, we were open for about 8 months a year. Now we're open 12 months a year. Last Christmas, somebody called me up on Christmas Eve and wanted a tour. I came down here and gave them a tour. We'll do tours 7 days a week, almost 365 days a year. We love this place. It means a lot to us. We had a great crew here. We had great bosses. This place was incredibly efficient. To me, this was the most efficient government-run operation I've ever heard of. When I started here, I was making $2.25 an hour. We had all these guys coming back that actually were from this base, but when we put out the emails and Facebook and all this stuff, we asked for volunteers. Guys were coming here and both men and women from other bases coming to help us. They would volunteer to come do maintenance. They would come here and make donations. It was a wonderful support, but not just the smoke jumpers, but other firefighters would come to help us too. And even lots and lots of tourists and citizens come in here and donate to the museum. That's how this place is run. That's how we're able to pay the bills. It costs about $8,000–9,000 a year just to have this, between the insurance and the power bills and all this other stuff. But we welcome your help. If you would like to donate and help us, that would just be fantastic. We have 2 airplanes here that used to be here, 2 twin Beechers. It's called a C-45 in the military, holds 4 to 5 jumpers. Plane was first built in 1937. We have 2 of those out here, and we're looking for 2 other planes. If you hear, we need a DC-3, which we had DC-3s here for 8 years, or a Nordine Norseman. It was originally built in Canada, came here in 1947, 48, and holds 3 or 4 jumpers. It was first built in 1932. If you hear about a Nordine Norseman, first built in Canada, or a DC-3, that would be fantastic. That would be helpful. We'll try to somehow or another purchase one. We need a plane that can't fly, because if it's flyable, then they want $100,000 for it. We don't have that kind of money. But if we can get one that's pretty well, it's a static display, we could bring it in here, fix it up a little bit, paint it, make it look real nice, but it would just be a static display for the museum. If you have any smoke jumper artifacts of any kind that would fit in here, and you'd like to get them to us, you can mail them to us, call me on the phone, I'll give you my address, and you can mail them to us, or you can come here and donate them personally and see the museum. We've had people here come into the museum from every continent but Antarctica so far. We get a lot of people from Africa and Asia and Russia and all over Europe, South America, and everywhere. Now, if some people would like to come and volunteer their time, they can be helpful too. We've got painting projects to maintain things, especially outside buildings. You can come in. There's a few people who've come in and said, I'd just like to be a host here. That works too. Or you'd like to come in and just help us clean this place. We got 9 buildings to take care of. and it takes a bit of time to just keep everything up. We've saved all the buildings though, and that's the amazing part. And if you'd like to be a part of that, you can come and help us.
We're doing this for all of you. If you like what we're doing, please give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment below. See you next time.